Hey Trance family, Brandon Beatty Trance. Welcome to the 8th video in our series where we're putting together an uplifting trance track completely from scratch. In the last video, we worked on our automation, so I can pull that up. I didn't do too much. I think I just kind of took a little bit more time to clean up the automation, like how I might want it for the track. And in this video, I believe it's time we should start thinking about a lead and start working on some pads. And I wanted to develop the chord progression that we had initially laid out earlier. So it's probably a little bit high. We could probably put it down closer to middle C. Okay. So I'll play that by itself. Okay. Again, guys, just a review. We are doing A minor chord progression. So this is A minor, it goes to F major, then it goes to C major, then it goes to G major. This is a very popular pop chord progression, so this isn't anything groundbreaking. This is something a lot of artists have used over and over again, so it's a great chord progression. It's great for like a radio friendly track. It's great for like a trance anthem type of thing. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to sort of open these chords up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take the root note of the chord and bring it down to the bass area. Okay. And then I think we can try just adding in the fifth here and maybe putting in the, yeah, sort of like that. And then if we go down to here, yeah, so we're gonna do fifths in the bass of the piano, and we're gonna keep this, the thirds at the top. Again, the top, the third of the chord is a C. We're gonna have the E. Okay, and we're basically gonna copy that open pad, open chord progression style. Let me say that again. Open chord style for the whole progression. So we're going to bring the F to the bass note. We're going to add in the C again, which is the octave. And I think for this, instead of copying the whole chord, we're just going to sustain the front half of this chord. So I think it gives a little bit of emotion. Okay. And again, we're going to drop the root of this G, or sorry, this is a C chord. We're going to drop that down. Add the fifth of the chord, which is a G there. And let's see what we can do to maybe make this chord progression a little bit smoother. Let's see what it sounds like. It's not bad, but let me try playing it and see if I can come up with something a little bit more natural. Yeah, I think it is fine to go up to that. Oh, you know what? Okay, see, I can actually sustain this C right here. I do kind of like that. So we'll go with that kind of sustaining chord idea. That is something that's kind of common you see in trance, especially with the chords. It's like nice to keep the common notes sort of droning along and then adding that variation maybe to the end of the loop or something where we change the last chord. So again, we're going to drop this root note, the G chord. Let's actually just get rid of this so it's a little bit clearer for us. G, and we're going to add the fifth, which is a D. Let's see what all this sounds like together. And I don't know, I feel like this could do like a kind of a lead in. Let me think how to explain that. So So I'm trying to think what I hear. I hear it like kind of going back to a note, but I might have to add that in later. So, okay. Go ahead, whatever, copy that for the rest of the bar. And let's maybe start working on and uplifting like the main lead. And so I guess there's a couple kinds of leads that you could do, right? You could do like sort of the classic super saw ARP type of lead. You could do a sort of pluck chord type of thing where it's maybe doing something, you know, it's like pluck based. You could do this sort of staggering pluck thing that's like in thirds. Or again, you could do more of an ARP. So let's pull up like a lead, and I guess we'll kind of see what we come up with. So this is really up to you. If you want to do, also you could do like a melody type of lead where it's like a sustained note type of synth playing some type of melody. All right, so anyways, let's jump into it. Let's create a MIDI track. We're going to pull up our good friend Spire. And again, you can jump into the world of sound design, make your own super saw lead or pluck lead. I like to have some nice ones from some of these sound packs. They definitely sound pretty cool. Let me see what's this. Yeah, it's really, really loud. So definitely the leads, you're going to want to grab the mixing fader there. Let's see, what's this good for? So that one I was just playing some chords on. Let's see what it sounds like if we do an ARP. So this is where you got to, you know, we finally get to be an artist. So whatever inspires you, I mean, pick a lead, try playing different stuff. I'm not sure how that's really a lead. See what it does for you. I think I was actually getting inspired by Nevada right there. This could be a cool one. And don't forget to play with the mod wheel. So this one sounds interesting. I mean, that could be cool for like the front of the track, maybe. So if we had like a. Anyways, use your imagination, guys. Just start grabbing some synths and layering stuff. But I guess this isn't why it's important to stay focused. So don't get distracted. You see how I got distracted? We're going to stay very focused. We are trying to build a lead, okay? I think... I'm going to go with the Nevada lead, and I think I'm going to come up with some kind of like RP type of thing. So we will call this, I don't know, is this a super saw? We'll just call it saw lead. And we can either solo it with the piano, or we can just do it completely by itself. I think for now we'll solo it by itself. And just make sure you're oriented properly in the patch, meaning like with your where your left hand is lined up versus your right hand. Definitely make sure your right hand's around middle C for some of the melodies, and your left hand should be playing the bass notes. And you can either octave jump or you could do the fifth. That did sound kind of nice. So let's see what we can do with that. Oops. All right, let's just kind of see what happens. Just for the sake of this video, because I could spend a lot of time, probably too much time doing something. So maybe we'll make it. I guess the point is we are trying to do a peak time type of thing. So it should be like an aggressive, pretty quick lead. So we definitely want to start with the bass note because we actually want the lead to sort of come off beat just a little bit. So I guess we could do it so that it comes up on the off beat first, and we will do like a octave jump here. Okay. And you kind of want to come up with some kind of rhythm in this top melody. So if it's going on the upbeat, bump, 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 bump. Let me think of how to do this. Sort of doing two notes apart to get that gallop. Yeah, so it does come down on the downbeat there. All right. And this is literally how you come up with like a super saw lead from scratch. Like you kind of start out super basic and then you just sort of start adding more detail as you go on. So I know it kind of seems like painful or something, but you've just got to kind of push through. And this is the best way to sort of like I said, get it done, produce results without waiting to be inspired by some like super amazing melody. Like you can just put in some basic elements and start going to town with changing them. So here, like we could put it to the F. And I know we were trying to keep the A and the C the same. So let me think. So next, I think if we bring this up to the C, make this a B. Just trying to come up with like a rhythm here. So it's all about just adding those little variations in there and then making sure we stay consistent when we, move to the next chord. And sometimes it helps to solo this. Maybe I need this here. And then we're just going to fill in those empty spaces with the other parts of the chord. Let me think here. Okay. So yeah. And then it does help. Yeah, let's actually get the kick in there as well. That will help us hear sort of how we're doing with the bouncing sort of gallop effect that we want with the lead. So we'll bring these in. I'm just making sure again all the spaces are filled with these different octaves. Okay. Yeah, this one's sort of playing. There we go. I think I got the rhythm I was looking for. Okay. Okay. So I think I kind of like when the downbeat's in. So we'll keep that in mind. Maybe we can do that sometimes. So let's align this back with F, and then we're going to, I think I had this on a B, I'm sorry, back on the C, and this one was down to a B. Oops. I think it was the other way around actually. Okay. And then we will bring this to the C. And I think we had this, we'll bring this down to the G and the A. Or we could do C and E. Alright, let's see what happens. So I'll bring this down to A. And we're just going to stretch out this loop so it keeps going. All right, it's actually not going bad. And so it's filling the last chord, which is the G. So we'll duplicate that. Bring it down to here. Definitely hear it going up higher there. So maybe B and D. That's what happens. Okay, I actually really like that. That's like a really great little melody, and it's got a lot of potential. And so I don't know. I feel bad. Like I feel like it took me a long time to get to this point, but I guess that's creativity. It takes a little bit, and this is raw, unfiltered. So it's like you're literally seeing how I come up with ideas from nothing. I mean, I literally just put in like this little gallop pattern and started morphing it and trying to make a melody out of it. And yeah, if we just kept it to this 4-bar melody, it would be really boring. So we need to do something to make it a little interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, now Ableton has this button, you press duplicate, it just duplicates the whole loop. And I'm actually hearing that when it gets to here, the second loop, I think something different should happen right there. I think it should go higher. know what notes I hear it going to. Let's see what this sounds like. Oh, I actually really like that. And we gotta maintain that same high energy, I think. That's where the melody's kind of going now. What will we do with this? Okay. I feel like we could do something better on that last chord. Go back to the G. I don't know, we gotta do something. Maybe even bring it higher. So anyways, as you can see, it's just a game of trial and error. No, now I lost it. Okay, I think I saved it. Bring in some other elements. I almost hear like somebody singing, so I think the next video we should get a vocalist in the studio. Which my girlfriend actually, she does sing. She's really great at singing. I have we've worked on a few tracks in the past, but we haven't like finished them. Maybe, you know, that'd be a cool video. One of these videos we'll bring her on board and get her to sing something. But anyways, guys, that is how I come up with like a super saw lead with literally, I didn't have an idea. I was actually scared before I made this video. I was like, I'm going to fall flat on my face and come up with some horrible melody. But like, I'm listening to this, I'm actually getting kind of excited. I'm like, I love trance so much. And like when like these little melodies like this is just so like exciting and filled with emotion. And this is where you guys can kind of get creative too. Like, don't let it just keep hanging out on the same note. Like, we could adjust one of these notes a little bit and play into the melody. Yeah, I guess so far this melody, I'm not feeling like any kind of adjustments like that, but that is an option. Just so you guys know, that is an option. Why does it feel like the bass is off? Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's how it's supposed to feel without the kick. It always kind of has that little gallop. And then we'll just listen to what the lead sounds like with the chords. Let's also make sure we are leveling our lead. Yeah, the lead's not in bad shape. I think it's just the piano super quiet, probably a little too quiet. Okay, so I think, yeah, you know what we could also do? This is a point where we really should, we'll save these chords because we're going to use these for the pads, okay? But this is a point where we could really turn the piano. So this is like a bonus, all right? So since you guys have been stuck around for 25 minutes, we'll turn this into a 30-minute banger of a lesson, all right? Because we're going to take this piano and we're going to make it more into like a trance instrument. And I think the first thing we're going to do, okay, yeah, let's pull up our VU meter. We're just going to see what it, oh, piano. Okay, yeah, so level's not outrageous. I'm trying to think if we should filter it first, then put it through some delay and stuff. Yeah, we'll just put it through the delay first, see what happens. So again, same sort of delay we've been doing. Or you could try the quarter note delay. So we'll just try this sort of space echo delay. We definitely want to put it through some like a killer reverb. So let me just get up that Native Instruments one real quick. And we are looking for RC24. Okay. Not bad. Let's see what that sounds like. And I think we should filter it. Okay. I hear like a little bit of resonance, I think. And I think we should also compress it, to be honest. So I'm just going to put it through my favorite compressor, which is Vertigo. I think we should kind of slam it a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's like fitting for trance, right? Now you can either compress it after the reverb or before it. Let's see. So I think that's good enough. Anyways, let's see what that sounds like if we just start adding some top notes into the lead here. Make sure the piano is definitely not loud enough now. Oh, it's because we didn't do our makeup gain. Don't forget to do some makeup gain. I'm going to do that about 3. Pull the piano down a little bit. Okay. Let's get more elements in there, actually. So you can have fun with that. So I'm just coming up with like little top melodies and stuff on the piano while just kind of jamming along. So I would say that's my biggest tip, is really, in essence, what we're kind of doing is creating a jam band. Okay. So that was sort of the goal of everything we were doing up to this point. Because, right, without the lead, remember, like, I was like, yeah, this kind of sounds cheesy, right? Okay. But that's kind of like your jam band, and you get to start coming up with leads on top of that, and that's how you sort of get inspired. And this is the best jam band in the world because they don't get tired. They don't they don't talk back, and when you need to stop and tell the drummer to stop playing, they actually stop playing, right? Because I've been in so many rock bands, and you can never get the drummer to stop playing. So, yeah. So we just jammed along on top of a chord progression, played some arps on our lead, opened up some basic chords, just kind of played them in an open position, and that's how we kind of transitioned to sort of songwriting. Okay. The last thing we can do with this lead, we could do the ducking on it, so we could put kickstart on it. This is great for like when we go from where it's like just the lead bare. Or you could even do it like that. That could even just be part of the lead. We have a nice build up right there. And I think here we should put a kick on the quarter note, and I really like the sound of a kick and a crash together, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And we'll do the same exact thing right here. Right before the lead comes in, it'll be a kick and a crash, a nice riser. And let's not forget, all right, I guess the last thing we'll talk about is like a super bonus video, because we're just gonna do everything and make it like 40 minutes or whatever, I guess. So don't forget our mod wheel. I feel like this isn't, I wish it went further. So sometimes we can open up the matrix here. So this increases the cutoff. So I'm just going to save this before we start messing with this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the cutoff down, and I'm going to make the mod wheel do even more. There we go. You can even bring the cutoff like really low. And again, so I guess now we're going back to the automation type of stuff I was talking about before. And I definitely hear it like jumping right here and sort of playing the last couple notes like sort of maxed out. And then this is where I would put like a big riser. Okay, so I would go to my sample pack and pull up a big riser. But you know, we'll start building that stuff like a little bit later on. I think that's it for now. I think you guys get the idea. Automating your saw, opening up your pads, and coming up with a lead that we can jam to and start putting some stuff on top. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. See you on the next video.